I had a couple of on-stage interviews today. One was with Charles McHardie, who is the Chief Information Digital Officer for Services Australia, so obviously responsible for pretty much all our citizen engagement. And he was talking about his long-term sort of foundational 10-year plan, digital plan if you like, and the needs to almost take a modular approach to how you approach that and how you accelerate modernization within that. He also talked about the need to really upskill and uplift not necessarily digital capability, but digital awareness from the bottom to the top, or if you like, from the broom cupboard to the boardroom, making sure that everybody had a very solid understanding of what digital means. He also talked about, which is very relevant I think to organizations more broadly, the need to kind of join the dots across departments within government as well, so that if we're ultimately wanting to deliver better customer experiences or citizen experiences, ensuring we can work collectively to share the data, share the assets to deliver the capabilities that we're looking for. Fast forward to another conversation with the head of trust and resilience at Telstra, Chris Mohan, and we were talking very much about the need to keep ahead of the curve in terms of what's happening from a threat and threat actor point of view as well. The threat actors we used to know about have changed dramatically. There's no more, the guys or girls with the black masks on, a swag bag over their shoulder. They're operating in small offices, small apartments, and they're being paid to really attack us aggressively as well. And in this era of AI accelerated threats, frontier AI, for example, really making sure that you're putting the fundamentals, the foundations in place to ensure that when those threats do occur, that you're actually beating the threat actors at their own game. Another conversation again with a very senior CIO leaned into the fact that, sovereign is absolutely critical. Getting the sovereign narrative right from the get-go right at this very moment is really important. Most organizations, and that includes government and non-government, have very mixed understanding and ideas of what sovereign means. We know, for example, in the US, Anthropic essentially has a kill switch. They can flick a switch and the model shut down sort of thing. So what do we need to do to protect ourselves as a nation and truly put in those sovereign capabilities and abilities within the organization? Another conversation at a lunch roundtable I had as well was really, again, coming back to foundational piece, that we all know AI is only as good as the data that we put into it, but for many, they still haven't got those data foundations and fundamentals in place and where they need to be. So almost having a bit of a rethink and a reset in terms of what does good look like, particularly when you consider most of the data that we're working with was generated and put in place to be used by humans. But right now, most data is not being used or accessed by humans, it's being used and accessed by AI. So rethink how we can leverage not just existing data. Again, conversation came up that we almost need to sandbox our existing data and start again with new data and make sure it's fit for purpose for AI.